This video is about the Lordship of Ireland. The Lordship was born in 1171 when Henry II, King of England, was declared Lord Paramount of Ireland. In 1542, Henry VIII elevated Ireland to a kingdom. The English kings, nobility and settlers were involved, as well as the Irish clans and regional chieftains. In the 12th century, Ireland consisted of several kingdoms, and the King of Leinster, MacMurrough, was in war with nearly all of the rest. It didn't go too well for him, so he asked Richard de Clare, a Welsh nobleman, for help. Richard de Clare, called Strongbow, landed in Ireland and could take control of the east relatively quickly. He then married MacMurrough's daughter, and when the King of Leinster died, it was Strongbow who claimed the kingdom. Now, Henry II saw an opportunity to gain influence in Ireland, but he also saw a threat that Strongbow simply becomes too strong. So he decided that he definitely has to do something and landed in Ireland, took possession of Waterford and Dublin. The Irish kings recognized him as Lord Paramount, and from now on we have the Lordship of Ireland. The next century was the heyday of the Normans in Ireland. You can just see this, have a look at the map. The spheres of influence fundamentally changed. Nearly the whole island was now under Norman control. Furthermore, the Normans brought their feudal system, settlers came with them, economic prosperity followed, and a highlight, of course, the Parliament, the Irish Parliament of 1297. But this prosperity did not go on for the Normans. The next century it was a bit tougher. Firstly, to mention, during the First Scottish War of Independence, the brother of the Scottish king, Abbot the Bruce, invaded Ireland and devastated the north. Then the European famine also hit Ireland, and some areas of Ireland, some regions, were very unstable. To mention here, the mighty De Burgh clan, with more or less civil war in the west of Ireland, and the government couldn't control Connacht at all. Furthermore, the plague hit especially the Normans, because the plague was mainly in the cities, and the cities, that was where the Normans were concentrated. In the next century, the Normans were more and more integrated into the Irish society, and they took on the Irish culture. Some Normans were actually more Irish than the Irish. That was not the interest of the English, so the Statutes of Kilkenny were passed, which said there's separation of the English and Irish church, no English-Irish families, the English have to speak English, and they're not allowed to spend their pastime with the Irish. Well done, good on them. The English just did not have the resources to enforce their policies. So the growth of Irish influence and the decrease of English influence went on, especially in the 15th century, especially because England was engaged in a few wars. To mention here, the Wars of the Roses in England and the 100 Years' War against France. Now, Ireland changed from an island nearly entirely under Norman control. It changed to an island which was mainly under control of regional chieftains. And that was not in the interest of Henry VIII, the English king. He elevated Ireland to a kingdom, but not only to increase his influence, also to prevent foreign powers to invade, and especially to reject the claims of the Pope. He introduced the policy of surrender and regrant, meaning the Irish lords and chieftains had to give up their land, and Henry would give it back to them as a fief. The Irish, typically Irish, they thought, well, nice, that is on paper, in reality nothing will follow, so they accepted. But they were in for a surprise, quite a surprise, because now the English policy was actually enforced. English administration came, English law, and we have religious contrast and violence erupted on both sides. A few rebellions followed, but then after the 9 Years' War in Ireland, the country was settled, and the English dominance or English law was actually put through or pushed through. Having said this, there were a few uprisings, But yeah, until the Irish independence, they were not too successful. That was the Lordship of Ireland in 5.